Welcome to Music and Spirituality at Kardec Radio. My name is Joca Dalledone from London, UK. Today, my dear listeners, we're gonna be reflecting upon a book called Spiritism in the Arts by Leon Denis. It's a very interesting book that brings in depth how music and how art is perceived and is executed in the spiritual world. So I'm gonna just take some quotes and some parts of the book for us to have an idea, a glimpse on the book. He says at the beginning, in the introduction of the book, that the essential purpose of art is the quest for and the realization of beauty. It is at the same time the search for God, since God is the first source and the perfect realization of physical and moral beauty. The more refined, the more fine-tuned we are, and elevated intelligence becomes, the more it's imbued with the idea of beauty. So he has this idea as art is the fusion of goodness and beauty. There is a part of the book he mentioned this combination of beauty and goodness as being good, being charitable, as we evolve, as we always talk about the teachings in Spiritism, is our own self-realization, is our own inner transformation, our improvement as human beings, as spirits that we are in essence. And the idea of beauty that arts bring to us. I'm gonna just quote some of the notes that I took from the book. Here, when he says that art is the expression of the eternal beauty. So there is always this the perception of beauty when we are related to art. Art, here we talk about the celestial art, the celestial music. Is the harmony that governs the universe. So music and art can bring this harmony to ourselves. Brings the radiation of the high spiritual spheres. So when we are really connected to a piece of music, to a piece of art, we are having a glimpse of our life in the high spheres. It's like the spirituality, the high spirits manifest something that we can foresee, the beauty, the wonderful things of the high spheres. So art can bring this perception, this idea, this ecstasy that we all gonna sooner or later experience as we evolve and as we get to these high spheres in the future. And he says exactly that in one of the parts, that we foresee the high planes of life by art. Is the means of elevating ourselves and renewing ourselves. We always say in Spiritism that we need our inner transformation, our inner reform to evolve. So, but art, sometimes we forget that art can have this power, can be the means for us to evolve as well, not only by the teachings, by the intellectual knowledge and living the teachings of the spirits, but also by enjoying and appreciating art in any form, when we really connect with on a deeper level, we are raising ourselves to these high planes. That it says is the fusion of good and the beauty, the goodness and the beauty. That's art in the high spheres. And it talks also about inspiration, that the great works of art came about through our own stillness, when we go within, when we be quiet and silent and still, and we can commune with the spiritual world, with the high spheres, and the inspiration can come to the composer, to the artist at that moment of inspiration. Inspiration, that's what inspiration is about, is to bring ideas from outside of ourselves, from a different source. In this case, a higher source. Musicians in the spiritual world, composers in the spiritual world, who inspire the composer here on the physical plane. But he also has a piece of advice, a warning, that this flow of inspiration can be broken, can be cut by our own self pride, our vanity, when we feel that we are superior than anybody else, when we feel that we're doing things just ourselves without help, because actually we are always being helped by the spirits. The musician, the composer, any field of work, we are always being influenced and inspired by the spirits, and in art more than anything else. So it would be really interesting if the composers recognize that they are being helped there. They are being inspired to do great works of art. And the inspiration is subtle. It's that very quiet voice and idea that a musician, a composer, sometimes has a piece of melody, and from that melody he develops using his own talent to something greater. But the inspiration is there. The composers, they listen voices and sounds that doesn't come from earth, comes from the highest sphere, comes from the spiritual world. And today I'm gonna play for you a piece of music by the French composer Eric Satie, and the piece is called Gynopédie No. 1. I hope you enjoy it.